I was invited to do this show here at the school where I went to. I did both an undergrad and an MA here at Eastern Illinois University. And I have a show here titled Beyond the Afterglow, Recent Paintings. I was so grateful when I was invited to do this show and ecstatic to do it, to be coming back to a place that I hold in such high regard and to be a part of the history of it. So many outstanding artists have shown at Eastern at the Tarble, so I was very flattered, very honored. I grew up just up the road in Arcola, Illinois, not too far from here, and I was raised on a horse farm. And that really allowed me to see a lot of things in my youth. From a sort of an interesting scientific standpoint, I'm seeing my father perform inoculations, selective breeding practices, things like that, and that definitely resonated in my mind, and I brought that into my artistic practice when I started thinking about science as this sort of breeding ground for content. So with a lot of my paintings, I'm kind of almost imagining the experiment that's gone awry, or the one that didn't quite work out, and I kind of think of the elements that compose my paintings I think of as almost the leftovers or the byproducts that are sort of trying to resist expiration, and I now put them in this scenario where they're like codepending on each other. As you look at the work too, you'll notice that there's also a series where I'm working on old vintage photographs, and much the way I was just talking about those elements that are sort of the leftovers or byproducts make up my paintings. The old vintage photographs are oftentimes discarded. They're ones I found at antique stores or flea markets, and they're very much so just leftovers or things that were going to be thrown away. And I like the idea of sort of resurrecting them and painting on top of them to create a new narrative. I came from very humble background, very rural background. Wasn't really even exposed to a lot of art. Art for me was really an escape. I drew a lot as a kid to sort of entertain myself, and then coming to a university and working with professors who have just such a great broad knowledge base. I mean, really opened up a lot of windows for me. Really gave me the confidence I needed to sort of take those next steps. Encouraged me to pursue the career in the arts. Some people might question the viability of a career in the art world, but everybody was very supportive, very nurturing, and again gave me the confidence I needed to sort of take those steps to get to where I am today. And I just, this past spring, accepted a position at Southeast Missouri State University, which is in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. And so I've just started teaching there and serving as the head of their painting department. I can't tell you how often there's been moments where I catch myself feeling like I'm sounding like my mentors or the people I worked with while I was at Eastern. So it's such an interesting, reciprocal, sort of circular thing that happens. My hope is that then my students will then take something that I've learned and carry that on into their futures.